Hi everyone, welcome to my show. My name is Shanley Lutchman. I'm a professional engineer. I specialize in renewable energy. The topic of today's show is the art of networking. So today's show is not going to be about energy. It's going to be about a business topic. And so one of my previous videos that I did on Robert Kiyosaki and how his advice can potentially make you go broke if it's not well applied, we spoke about the importance of traditional education and how traditional education doesn't teach you proper collaboration with other people. Yes, you may do some group work activities, you may do some group assignments, but the focus isn't actively on teaching you to build relationships with other people, and it's not actively on teaching you how to collaborate with other people. Your success in traditional education is more dependent on your ability to sit at a table and read material, understand material, and then reproduce that material in an exam or some other form of testing. And it's more dependent on that than it is on your success in traditional education is more dependent on that than it is on building relationships with other people. And unfortunately, in the real world, it's not like that. In the real world, your success as a business person is much more dependent on your ability to collaborate with others and to build things with others and to build relationships than it is on what you actually know personally. And so I'd like to reflect on that in today's show. I'd like to reflect on networking and on building business relationships. And I'd also like to give some practical steps on how you can actually get to networking and start to build relationships for the sake of building businesses and building wealth through those businesses. Okay, so firstly, the movies have kind of popularized this idea of the wealthy businessman, the wealthy solo businessman. And you think of guys like Tony Stark, you think of Bruce Wayne. So here's a guy who has few friends, and those people that he does hang around with are mostly people that are just kind of in awe of him, and they are, many of them are his underlings. This guy does his best work alone. He is self-made. He has lots of money. He has all the toys that money can buy. He lives in a big mansion. He travels the world, and this guy is just this amazing solo person, and it's all based on his skills and what he's able to do and what he's been able to accomplish. And very rarely do you see this ideal businessman in the movies. Very rarely do you see him with a network of friends and individuals that he's highly dependent on for his business. He's generally the self-made person. And the only issue is that that kind of situation is not real. In the real world, your success in business is highly dependent on relationships. The fewer relationships you have, the less business you do, or the less successful you are in business. The more relationships you have, the better you are in business. And if you have no relationships, then there is no business. And I think that a more real-world example of a successful businessman that kind of demonstrates what we're talking about here is Donald Trump. And now, you may have, regardless of what your political views may be or what you personally think about Donald Trump, you have to admit that the man has accomplished quite a bit in his life. And I think because he's been so public, his life has been so public, we can actually see what it takes to be a successful business person because of what he's shown in the public life. And as I said, regardless of your views or regardless of your personal feelings towards him, the man has stately buildings with his name on them. He has amazing golf estates. He's done reality television, and all the way to becoming president. And I think, when he became president, he was probably simultaneously the most loved person, the most hated person, and the most well-known person simultaneously on the planet. But regardless of what you think of Donald Trump, there are a few people, I think, who wouldn't mind trading places with him, even if it's just for a little while. And so in his book, The Art of the Deal, Donald Trump, I think it's the first chapter in his book, he takes you through a week in his life. And as you read through a week in the life of Donald Trump, you can't help but notice that this guy spends most of his life on the telephone speaking to people. He is phoning people and he's speaking to them about, well, he's following up on business deals, he's following up on work, he's touching base with them, he's finding out how their family's doing, he's making arrangements to go to social events, and so he's spending most of his time talking to other people. And then also, if you read, there's a chapter on him coming to me, or him living in Manhattan, or starting to live in Manhattan. And one of the first things he did when he moved to Manhattan was to join a club. The club was called Le Club. And, the reason he joined that club was so that he can rub shoulders with other people, other like-minded people, other business people, in order to build relationships. And it's those relationships that he built through that club. It was some of those businesses, some of those relationships that he built that made him successful in his business world. And so Donald Trump in general, a lot of his success can be linked to the businesses, or a lot of his success can be linked to the relationships that he built, relationships that he continues to build, and relationships that he maintains through his social interactions and through talking to people on the phone. And so, it took me a while to learn this. It took me a while to learn what it kind of takes to be successful in business. But there's a few phrases that I came across and kind of pushed me in this direction. And I first heard these phrases from Kevin Samuels. Whether or not he is the one that originated these phrases, I don't know. Maybe one or two of them, or one of them probably he didn't originate it. But I'm not so sure about the other two. But here are the phrases. The first one is, your network is your net worth. The second phrase is, business is a social activity and the success is shared. And the last phrase, lone wolves die. And so, as I mentioned, it's taken me quite a long time to understand what it takes to be successful in business. And a lot of that time I spent sitting at my desk, sitting behind my computer, reading things, reading books, watching things, and trying things on my own. And it's only after hearing these phrases and that I heard from Kevin Samuels, and then also hearing the concepts from other business people and business coaches, it was only then that I realized the importance of networking and building relationships in order for business to be successful. It took me a while to learn that in order for me to be successful in business, I need to kind of get out the house and get in touch with other people. Business is about people. And the purpose of business is to benefit other people. If a business is not benefiting other people, then there is no business. Your business could be solving a problem for an individual or a person, or an individual or a business owned by an individual. It could be improving the quality of life by producing products or services in a way that's high quality and in a way that is affordable to people. It could be even bringing products that's not accessible to most people, bringing it to become successful to people. Business could also be providing an escape for people through entertainment. But at the end of the day, business really is about an end customer. It's about making an end customer, a human being, happier or more fulfilled or more satisfied because of what it is that you are offering through business. And so in general, business is about people. You cannot remove the people element from business. And so networking achieves two things. When it comes to business, networking achieves two things. The first thing is that networking puts you in touch with the needs of the people that you wish to serve. Networking puts you in touch with the needs of the people you would like to serve. So, when you spend time with people, you become more aware of what people need, what people want, what people desire. You become more aware of their feelings, about their interactions even with other people, about their relationships. And this makes you better understand what they need, and it puts you in a better position for you to be able to provide for their needs more effectively. It's impossible for you to know what a person needs, what a person desires, to the extent that you are able to effectively and efficiently to be able to provide for that need. It's impossible for you to do that without actually spending time with people. You can't sit in your room and read books and watch videos and think that you will know what people need and what people want. So that's the first thing. It puts you in touch with the needs of the people that you want to serve, and it helps you to be able to provide for those needs. The second thing that networking does for you is that it gets people to know you. And when people know you, they trust you. And when they trust you, they're more likely to buy from you. And when you put these two things together, people will buy from you. Firstly, because you've put together a product based on a product or a service based on their needs, and you've put it together based on a very good understanding of their needs because you've acted with them. And then secondly, they buy from you because they know you, and they know you because you've acted with them in order to understand their needs. So the more time you spend with people, the more you become a person who understands people, and this makes you a better business person because business is about people. Another benefit that networking achieves or gives you is that it puts you in the path of business. Now, wherever you are sitting right now, around you, there may be many social activities that are taking place. On a Saturday night, on a Friday night, on a Saturday afternoon, on a Sunday, all throughout the week, there are social activities happening. There are brides, there are bachelor's parties, there are weddings, there are dinners, all these social activities that are taking place. And the only way to access those social activities is for you to be connected or to have a relationship with the people who are attending, organizing, or running these events. You cannot attend any social activity unless you have a relationship with those connected to that social activity. And the same is true with business. Business also is a social activity, and the only way for you to have access to that social activity, or the only way for you to have access to business, is for you to be connected through a relationship, or for you to have a relationship with those who are connected with the business. So networking puts you in the place where you can have access to business. Without networking, without having those relationships, you will not have access to business. And one of the best things that you can do to kill your business is to try to do things by yourself. The only reason somebody would want to run a business project by themselves is because they would want to keep all the profits for themselves, right? You think to yourself, man, if I include anybody else in this business project, then it means I'm gonna have to divide my business up. I might have to give somebody else some shares, or I might have to pay somebody else to do a certain portion, or when it comes to profits, I might have to share the profits with somebody else. And unfortunately, the way the world works and the way business works is that if you have that mindset of kind of keeping everything for yourself, chances are you might not even be able to do the business. The business might be given over to someone else who has a team around them, and it's probably better. It's probably more likely that you're going to achieve success and that you're actually going to get the business if you share the business with other people, and if you invite other people into your project. If you bring other people onto your deal, your business deal, your project, if you bring other people onto whatever it is you're doing, those people might have complementary skills, which means that you will be able to achieve more, and you might be able to achieve better quality and achieve even greater outcomes. So yes, you may have to share some of your profits, but at the end of the day, you might be able to achieve more and even make much more profit than you would have made if you had tried to do this by yourself. And so again, business is a social activity, and the success is shared. If you share the success, chances are you're going to have more business in the future. And if you understand the idea that business is a social activity, you're more likely to bring people on, and you're more likely to be successful in business. Okay, so what are some of the practical steps you can take in order to get better at networking and in order to build more relationships? Firstly, number one, join a business network club. I personally attend a business network club every Friday, and it does several things for me. One of the things it does for me is that it sorry about that. Okay, so number one, join a business network club. I personally attend a business network club every Friday. And one of the things it does for me is that it just improves my social skills. As I mentioned earlier on, I've spent a lot of time just by myself trying to figure things out, and I haven't spent enough time around other people. And the business club at least gives me that opportunity to spend some time with other people, and it also puts me in the path where I can find new business. So I might not necessarily do business with the people that come to the business club meeting every Friday, but I'm at least able to build relationships that might lead to meeting more people that might be able to help me with my business. Second thing you can do is to just tell 3 people about your business every day. Call up a friend, call up an old colleague, call up somebody that you studied with, and just ask them how they're doing and tell them about your business. Don't try to sell them anything. Just tell them about your business. Find out what they're doing. Find out about their business, and then at the end of it, just ask them if they know anybody that they could that you could speak to that might be interested in your business. So just every day, just tell 3 people about your business. And that at least puts you in a position where you can meet more people and puts you in a position where you can practice your social skills. The next thing is, number 3 is use social media. So very often we use social media and we just interact on social media. We send messages on social media, we post, we like, we comment, and the relationships stay there. But one of the ways of building relationships through social media is to kind of take those interactions off the platform. So somebody that you were speaking to on Twitter or Facebook or even on YouTube, message them and say, hey, would you like to connect for an online call? And then take that relationship off the platform. And very quickly, relationships or people that were just profiles to you, very quickly they become friends. So you turn profiles or social network profiles into friends. And then number 4, just get out the house. Get out of the house. Go to dinners, go to braais, go to whatever's happening around. Wherever there is going to be people, try to just get out and spend more time interacting with other people. Find out about people's family. Find out about their friends. Find out about what's troubling them. Talk about the issues of the world. Talk about what's happening in the news. Just speak to other people and just connect with other human beings. And this would put you in a position where you're building relationships, you're increasing your network, and by so doing, you're increasing your net worth as well. So I hope that this has been helpful. I certainly wish that I had known this when I was in university and even high school. I probably would have spent more time building relationships and maintaining those relationships. I think I lost a lot of friends between high school and university because I focused rather on my studies and what I could do and the exams I needed to pass, rather than spending time connecting with other people. And I think it was more to my detriment than anything else. So just one thing I want to read for you here. It says, your IQ may have brought you to the point where you are useful to others. So your IQ might have brought you to the point where you're useful to others. So you're smart enough, you got a degree, so now you have all this knowledge, and you've even through the work environment, you've picked up on additional skills and additional knowledge to the point where you're very useful. But it's your social skills, your EQ, your emotional intelligence quotient, that will turn your usefulness into wealth. Business is an art. Networking is how you practice that art. And the sooner you get good at it, the sooner you will be successful. So this has been Shanley Lutchman, professional engineer, renewable energy. I'll see you next time.